Struggling to make things right, Mike Milo sets off on a journey to Mexico to retrieve a troubled boy for his father. The two are forced to face adversity together in this contemporary western called Cry Macho, starring Clint Eastwood.
This is the Unsung Cinematics Podcast, where we review some of the best kept secrets in TV and film. Your hosts, Stewart and Rastislav, present you with a misunderstood movie to see if it deserves the title of being unsung.
Here we are, listeners, and this would be episode 9 of season 3. Here we are again with special guest star Ken Flatt with his Mexican lingo. Mexican flavor. Technically, it is my pick, and Rosto is here to make fun of us, I suppose.
Yeah, pretty much. Hello, everyone. Hi, Ken. Hi, Stu.
Yes, and Ken is here as well, and he has his own flavor on the Mexican take of this contemporary Western. How you doing today?
I'm doing okay. How about you guys? And yes, I do have some opinions.
Yeah.
Yeah, me too. I have some notes as well. So maybe you can give us some specs, Stu.
Yeah, for sure. This is a film from 2021, obviously Cry Macho. It's directed by Clint Eastwood, screenplays by Nick Schenk and Richard Nash. Now, the screenplay, this is an interesting thing about this whole film. It was originally written as a screenplay and then came in as a book, and then it was converted back to a screenplay. So it took many years to get this off the ground. I mean, they started this whole process back in, I guess, 1974, when before the book was even written. So, and it was distributed by Warner Brothers. It's an hour 44, set in late 70s, early 80s. 1980, I believe, is the final year in which the film was set. Budget was fairly low-key at $33 million, with the box office breaking at $16.5 million only. So it was a bit of a bomb, and even the viewership came pretty low, 5.7 on IMDb, with a 56 Metascore, and Rotten Tomatoes as well was pretty low, with 57% average rating, and I think 64 among the critics. So we have a bit of an underperforming film here. This is maybe not Clint Eastwood's last film, but it is certainly probably one of his last films.
It's the last one he acted on screen.
Right, and it's hard to say if he's got anything else in the works at the moment. So
it's PG-13, just to mention, and I didn't heard any kind of swear word. Not to mention.
Oh, I think you missed a bit of swear. He did. He swore a few times, Rosto. I think you might have missed it. I mean, it was nothing really. It wasn't really. It was just like typical,
right?
And stuff.
Very
like
tame,
when they met the police. Yeah.
Oh, okay. But
right, and maybe if you consider gringo as a swear, then possibly, but
no, I don't think so.
But it's more of a
not. Worse. I mean, it may be kind of a derogatory term, but there was right near the end when he and Rafa are sort of pulled over by the Mexican police. He unleashes a string of insults, which is
right. Yeah, that's right. He did had very colorful language during that scene, and it seemed kind of out of place for his character, to tell you the truth, but it was.
Yeah, it did. Yeah.
So anyhow, this film didn't have any praises as far as I know, and here we are to review to see if it was worthy of the low rating that it received.
Okay. So to start with the first category, I would say that cinematography was really well done. I mean, I like those long shots.
Yeah.
with the landscape and all the like roads and nature, etc. Horses. That was director's love, that kind of stuff. That was really
Yeah.
great done. Also, the lights and the work with the camera was great. What was very confusing was this definition of the genre. It's modern western. Modern western is a subgenre of classical western.
Right.
On the other hand, uh, that was very confusing. Maybe even that's why people have been rating this movie in such. They were giving such a low ratings. I have nothing against working with Clint Eastwood. I heard he's very gentle during the. There is this. I would say trivia about him that he doesn't use expressions like cut. He just say like something like let's wrap it up, or like or let's take a break. He doesn't use those typical
Film set jargons.
film jargons. He's a little bit different. In his approach, so people, I guess, feel
More
more
comfortable.
comfortable. Yeah, exactly. So
Right.
I guess it's even kind of visible, on that boy, because I can see he feels very comfortable with him, with Clint Eastwood. So that's a good thing. And
Yeah.
soundtrack, well, I'm not big fan of country music, so, but anyway, it was I guess suitable,
Appropriate, yeah.
appropriate to the type of movie. But then again, I must emphasize that I'm very disappointed that they actually define this movie as a modern western. That was quite confusing.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with you about the cinematography. I thought it was well done. That was by Ben Davis, who I believe also lensed the first Guardians of the Galaxy film. Well, I sort of enjoyed the music. I was kind of surprised by it because there was a composer that Eastwood worked with for some years by the name of Lenny Niehaus. But this time around, he worked with Mark Mancina, who's known for, well, he's done a lot of different films, but I think he sort of broke out with the Keanu Reeves movie Speed back in 1994, I believe it was. So to hear some Western music from him, I was a little surprised by that, and he also wrote the song that plays at the beginning and the end credits called "Find a New Home," and I thought, okay, this is kind of unexpected. So
Yeah,
I'm a little bit more partial to country music than Rosto is, but that's just me. But I enjoyed the score.
Yeah, the opening track was actually quite well done. I don't have any complaints about
Yeah,
that.
I mean for a Western song, and yeah, I enjoyed the score. I thought that was one of the bright points actually,
Right.
along with the cinematography.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, Westerns aren't known for being overly deep. Well, I mean, they are to an extent, but I mean, they're known more for the action, right? And the gunplay. And this movie has none of the gunplay or the action. So
very, very. I mean, there are guns like brandished, but not much done
and
with
some
them.
knives and stuff. But it was more.
Yeah.
It was more of a drama than it was a modern Western. I mean.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's what. Yeah, like Rosto was saying. Yeah, I think that threw a lot of people off. I mean, it's a Western setting, but it is more of a drama, I think. Yeah. Although there is a summary of the film, the original novel that this film is based on Wikipedia that I found, and it actually it actually seems like the film is a bit more sanitized than the original novel was, because it is a bit more action oriented toward the end, and there's actually sort of a harsher fate for the Marta character that Clint Eastwood's character becomes romantically involved with in this film. So it sounds like the original novel had a harder edge, but it would, if they made the film closer to the novel, it probably would have gotten an R rating from what I was reading on the Wikipedia page.
Right.
So I guess they had to make some compromises to make it more palatable to a general audience.
Yeah, and that brings me to the whole idea that Clint Eastwood was offered to do this film back in 1988 already, but he rejected it.
That's right, yeah.
He rejected it, basically saying, "Oh, I'm too young for the role." But ironically, that probably would have been the perfect time to do this role, because in this film, he was far too old for what the character seems to have been written for. And I think back in '88, that would have been the perfect time. He would have been in his, I guess, late 50s or early 60s, and
right.
that would play out
busy,
closer to the book and to the original screenplay.
Yeah, I think you're probably right. Yeah, but I guess at that time he was busy making the Deadpool. So
right, yeah. Well, he had other projects to work on, but
Yeah.
right, yeah.
Yeah, he was way too old. Yeah, he was way too old, and it wasn't even it wasn't even credible, because the story starts
Mhm.
with after the injury he must leave the ranch. So you would say the guy must be around. Yeah, I mean, how old? I mean, how long you can do the rodeo? I mean, not so long. I mean, you can do it till maybe 60,
Mm.
right? Tops. And
It's
then
a tough profession.
right.
it's a very tough profession. So 60 would be like
Yeah, yeah.
maximum. I mean, and then the guy is like way too old for this. I mean,
Yeah.
but yeah, that I think that was a not so great choice. That I think he should have engaged a different actor for this.
Oh, I 100% agree. Yeah, Clint Eastwood should have just remained as a director and then
Yeah.
Right.
got somebody
Yeah.
younger.
Yeah.
So, but I guess he really wanted to do it because it was something he wanted to do for a long time. So it was kind of like a
Right.
passion for him, I suppose. But I mean,
Well, Arnold Schwarzenegger was,
yeah,
I think,
offered the role.
considered.
Was that 2011,
But
I guess? And
That's
yeah,
right.
but
Yeah. Yeah.
no,
no, I'm serious. If Arnold Schwarzenegger would be, cast, then it would be more like a comedy. I think. I think.
yeah,
No, I'm serious. They would go for that
Yeah.
because of the
I'll
accent.
be back from Mexico.
Oh
Yeah,
God.
it's kind of ridiculous. Like they're planning to Schwarzenegger's accent using for Texan ranch hand. That's a little bit.
It's too far
But
fetched.
yeah,
It may not have
it is.
worked. Yeah.
Well, I'm glad they
Yeah,
didn't
yeah.
because otherwise it would have probably flopped pretty bad.
Even worse than now, right?
Yeah.
So,
Oh. Yeah.
so yeah. As
Who
for
knows?
the
Well, other than that, I mean, the choice of characters was fine. I mean, there wasn't a ton of characters in the film, anyways. We had the son, Raffo, there. I guess he must have been about
Ralph, yeah,
Raffo, 12 or 13 years old, played by Eduardo Minette. But,
Yep.
there wasn't a lot of characters in the film, really, anyways. There was a lot of extras more than anything, so.
Or very small parts.
there was this dialogue. Dialogue, I think, was appropriate to to the story and to the characters situations. I mean, this is probably the way how some old cowboy would talk.
Right.
Not he wouldn't waste words. He would say something straight away without too many flowery words. So I guess that's it.
Yeah.
And the guy with the guy's accent. I mean, I'm talking about Raffo. He reminds me a lot about with Pedro from Napoleon Dynamite. If you guys remember
Oh.
that character,
Yeah.
Yeah.
it was the voice and the accent almost the same.
Right.
I'm just saying this because I recently watched Napoleon Dynamite.
Oh,
So
jeez. Okay. Well, the
yeah,
character definitely wasn't the same. That's for sure. Pedro was very
no,
sort of dull and down to earth, but Rafa was not. He was very intense at times, and
no. I know. I'm
yeah,
just talking about the voice and accent.
yeah,
I must say they should show more of the Rafa's mother. I mean, they show her at the beginning, but then she disappeared from the screen completely, and I think that's a pity because it was like we completely forgot about what was the whole thing about, right? I mean, the whole story was about the mother not allowing her son to go to see his father, and then how come there wasn't any kind of like maybe some short shot on the screen, like
Well, you know that this film might be a product of its time. What I mean by that, it was done in 2021, so most of the production was probably done in 2020 during the pandemic. So
Yeah,
I hear it was based, or I hear that the production was quite hard to accomplish because of all the restrictions in place. So they probably had to cut down on what they could include in the film just for that reason. But
yeah,
because even if you
yeah,
look
they
at
were doing.
the original book or screenplay, you can tell that they've cut out some of the more important parts that were more important to the book. Even though the film is not that far off from the screenplay or the original screenplay in the book, they definitely left out some maybe important parts, and some of those parts might have been the family situation with
Yeah,
his mother.
it was quite reduced. Maybe that's even the reason why the whole act or the whole scene with Rafa's mother, I think her name was Letta. I think that's why it shows almost ridiculous, like the way the whole story or her actions, how it was explained, like she's taking the Clint Eastwood character, like she wants to sleep with him suddenly, and it's all like
yeah,
it was
yeah.
it was very, very
Bizarre.
erratic, like a very erratic. Okay, I understand they wanted to show that she's capable of anything, but
Right.
but
Well,
since she disappeared completely from the movie, there was no explanation. It just kind of.
right. The only thing we get to see is the hired thug to go out and try to intimidate.
Aurelio, yeah.
Yeah. But we don't
Yeah,
even learn much about him either, so
yeah,
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 he's
and
just
then,
a generic bad guy, really.
yeah, exactly. Very, very flat character, and maybe that's why, because of those restrictions, they couldn't. They had to reduce
oh,
the
for sure.
story,
Like even the
but
restaurant, one of the central sets of the film, the restaurant where he met that
Or Marty's Cantina, yeah.
the cantina, that's an actual restaurant in Mexico where a family restaurant in Mexico which was probably shut down due to the pandemic, and so they rented it
Oh,
out
yeah, yeah. Maybe that may be, yeah.
and converted it as a movie set. So
Mhm,
Right,
mhm.
right. I hadn't thought about that. That's an interesting point you make.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
So,
Well, I guess we're going to soon get into the story and plot, and I guess the screenplay. That's where I have a bit to say about that. So I think I'll save my comments for when we get to that. But I guess, do we want to play the clip first?
for sure, I'll roll the
perfect.
clip, and we'll have a
Okay.
short description here.
We brought our own red rooster with us, see, in your honor.
Gracias.
I'm going to have a cerveza blanca, and he'll have a...
Para mí, un amarillo, por favor.
Amarillo.
Sí.
What's amarillo?
Nothing, just something I drink.
Oh, okay.
Gracias.
It's tequila.
Tequila.
Yeah. You're not going to drink any tequila.
But I want it.
I don't care. You're not going to drink it, not with me.
Ay, no mames. I drank tequila once and I never got sick.
Yeah, well, when you're with your dad up above the border, you can drink battery acid, but you're not going to drink tequila with me.
Un orange crush, por favor.
Yeah, that's better. I'll be back.
Right. So, anyways, in the clip we have Raffo there, who's trying to pull a fast one over on Clint Eastwood there.
Yeah.
Underage drinking. I guess that's sort of semi-common
Yeah,
down there, but
that That was probably the only time I had some chuckle when he made that comment about you can with your father you can drink even battery acid,
Yeah,
but not with me,
yeah, yeah.
So that was quite funny. So I kind of touched that already. I said there was lots of plot holes. I think
Hmm.
like
Yeah.
things left unexplained.
Okay, what did you think about the scene with when? Well, not the scene. It was kind of multiple scenes where he was tending to the animals there. Did it kind of seem like it wasn't explained? I mean, we realized he was a ranch hand, but he has this sort of sixth sense with animals, and where did that come from? I'd like to know if did that sort of
Yeah,
make sense to you guys, or
yeah. He was like some kind of healer, right? Like the whole village would come and they would he would give this uh, like okay, your dog must rest and let him sleep close to your legs, and yeah, another thing that wasn't really explained, right?
right?
Many things seems to me like an unfinished business. So, and not to mention that again, I must repeat that it was advertised as a modern western, but where's the tough talk? Where's the some fist fight or some pistols? Like I didn't see any of that, right? So I was really confused, So that's why I'm saying this plot or this story is more like a Disney family movie, more like
Yeah, it's more wholesome than it is action and badass, I suppose would be the word. But
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. So it's such a difference, and they even confuse you with the credits because credits are very similar to they used to do this. That was the typical font, if you guys
Yeah, yeah,
noticed.
yeah.
That was
Yep, I
typical
did
font
actually, yeah.
you use in the spaghetti westerns. That was the same font.
Or like the classic westerns, like of the John Ford era and stuff like that. Yeah, yeah,
mm.
yeah.
Yeah, you remember that font, right?
Oh
So
yeah, yeah, definitely.
yeah, that was also confusing, So
Well,
Right, right.
maybe they intended to put more in the film than actually made it, but we'll we'll never know, I guess.
it se- it seems to me like Warner Brothers or Warner Bro. They wanted to make some kind of favor to Clint Eastwood because he previously he brought so many blockbusters,
Yes, yes.
to their studios, and now they wanted to say like big thank you to him. They went for it, because for decades he was bringing money,
Yes, he
and
was, and it
but
still is probably.
yeah, he was, and he still is.
Yeah.
So about plot, plot was okay. On the other hand, it wasn't that's not Western. This is not a
No,
Western. I'm
it was
sorry.
too methodical and too slow to be a real western. I mean, we've
Yeah.
reviewed other westerns before that were more dramas than westerns, but that is this fits more in that category. That's for sure.
Guys, it reminded me a little bit of Straight Story. I mean, the pace of the story was like we just recently reviewed the Straight Story, right? So it seemed to me like the same pace of the movie,
Ah,
right?
okay, yeah.
Yeah, I was thinking about that actually. It's funny you bring that up because it
Yeah,
seems like it's another story about an older man journeying across America and making stops
yeah,
along the way.
Right.
yeah. It was much better, Straight Story, for sure.
Yeah, and I'm thinking back to the what you said when we did our review of that one that Alvin was making a long journey, but along the way he was revisiting his past the further he got, the closer he got to his brother's home. And I thought that was
Right.
a very that was a great point you made. But unfortunately, this film doesn't. I don't think it really does anything quite that deep.
Yeah, he said that his wife and children
Right.
passed in the crash or automobile crash or
Yeah.
something like that. I'm not sure. But that's about it. We don't know anything about these characters,
To be fair, I believe the original novel Cry Macho was written before the events of Alvin Straight, that it took Alvin Straight to the real life events that took Alvin Straight to go to his brother.
Mhm.
So I guess
Yeah.
this may have been sort of the original, but yeah, I think it's sort of now it sort of pales in comparison to the Straight story, definitely.
Oh yeah, yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
So that's my take on
especially in
the
terms of the
plot.
screenplay. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
I also
I
didn't find Howard, the ranch owner or the father, particularly convincing character. Now, I think it was written that way, but he seems sort of off somehow. I can't put my finger on it, but he didn't seem like
I can put my finger on. He was a gaslighting prick. To be, and not.
yeah,
I don't mean to say Dwight Yoakam was, but the Howard Polk character definitely was.
Right.
Like it starts right. There's problems right from the start. I thought, like right within the first 5 minutes, Mike shows up, and this is at the time he's had his problems with pills and booze because of the accident he suffered while he was riding rodeo.
Yeah.
And then he basically Howard comes in and says, "Oh, you're late," and basically says you're late for your you're late for your firing. And he
Yeah.
says that after
yeah,
Mike's accident and addiction problems, that he was no longer afraid of losing him as an employee, and then sends him packing.
Right.
And of course, Mike gives him a little rejoinder on his way out the door about, "Oh, I think all this bad stuff about you, but I don't need to be rude." And then you flash forward to a year later,
Yeah.
and then
All of a sudden
Polk
he's
shows
like,
up at his place. Yeah. He basically says, "Oh, you look horrible. And by the way, how do you feel about going to Mexico and kidnapping my son away from his booze hound mom?"
yeah.
And I mean,
that
it's
was
kind of hard for me. Yeah. Like, I don't know. What do you guys think about that?
Well, there might have been something missing in between that we didn't get to see on screen, so that's maybe the.
well.
I don't know.
Apparently there was some reconciliation, but it wasn't shown on the movie, right? I mean,
Well, yeah, that was a
the,
problem for me.
he didn't leave. I mean, Mike character, he didn't leave in good terms with his boss,
No.
right?
Yeah.
He knew something of him, and they know each other. All kinds of bad things he did in the past, etc.,
Yeah.
etc. And he was
Yeah.
kind of bitter, and then suddenly he walks in after 1 year or whatever, and go to Mexico. I mean, that's kind of
Far
stretched,
fetched,
right?
yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it was sort of half explained closer to the end that he was doing that, almost like, I'm going to get my last little bit of jackassery on you, I'm going to send you out and maybe get arrested in Mexico or something. And if worst comes to worst, I get my son back and you're still in Mexico or something, right? But
Mexico.
Mexico, yeah.
Yeah.
But there were some funny one-liners, I suppose, in the film too. I mean, Ken has one,
Yeah.
right?
Oh, yeah, the bit about where Mike and Rafa are discussing about Rafa's rooster Macho, and Clint says, and Rafa asks if he has a problem with it, and Mike Milo goes, "Oh, no, if a guy wants to name his cock Macho, that's okay by me."
Yeah.
That was kind of a chuckle,
Yeah.
yeah.
Is
Because
it-
there's a
Yeah,
double entendre
yeah.
there, obviously.
Yeah.
But that was
Yeah,
kind
of
of clever,
course.
I thought. But there were so many other problems.
Yeah. Was that a reference to one of his other films? That whole thing with the macho and the rooster?
Not that I'm aware of. No, I figured it was just I figured it was a joke about. I figured it was kind of a double entendre about naming guys naming their members. I suppose you could say.
Right. Yeah. And then there was
That's the way it came off to me.
there was one funny line too, is when Rafa was threatening to leave or turn him into the police, and then he's like, "What do you think they're gonna do with you when they examine you and shove their hand up your ass," or something to that effect?
Yeah, that was pretty good too. Yeah.
Yeah.
There were good one-liners, but there were so many other problems with the screenplay, I thought. Like characters, they shift their emotions erratically. I think Rasta was saying there's not much consistency. Like like when you're talking about how Lita kind of comes on to Mike, and it just seems like it's out of nowhere.
Yeah, she must be in her 40s and he's in his 90s. It doesn't gel very well.
It does seem it's pretty abrupt, and also it seemed like Raffo's emotions were shifting a lot. Like first he wanted to cooperate with Clint, then he hated him and wanted to run away, or with the Mike character. And some of the way some of the events happen, like after they're in that first restaurant, after the clip you played there, Stu, where Mike's having problems with his stomach, and then Raffo's having fun laughing at them, and then their car gets stolen. It's just very abrupt how things shift, and
yeah,
like
for sure.
It's a little disappointing to me because the writer, like I think you mentioned, the script is by Nick Schenk and Richard Nash, but I believe Richard Nash, who is also the original author of the novel, he passed away, I believe, in the early 2000s. So any contributions he made to the script, or I'm not sure how much of his contributions to the script were kept. And Nick Schenk, who is also the writer of Gran Torino, which I think was a better film than this one. And I think Walt Kowalski in that film is definitely a better character than Mike Milo in this one.
It's you can't even compare those. I mean, Gran Torino was great. I mean, that was
that was well, I mean, it was a little manipulative in parts, but definitely a much different quality film, better quality film, I think.
Yeah, much better script and everything else. I mean, and also Raffo, this actor, it seemed to me like this Eduardo Minet. It seemed to me like he was sort of putting together a portfolio of his emotions. Like I think that was also that was also opportunity for him to impress the other filmmakers, because he was as if he was trying to show off, like what everything he can do. He can cry, he can be angry, he can be frustrated, he can be happy, like he can be asshole, like. But on the other hand, like you said, it was like having these mood swings, like some sort of
schizophrenic or something.
Going along with the demands of the script, I think. I don't want to be too hard on Eduardo Minet's performance, because I'm not sure how much experience he had prior to being hired for this film. But the way what you just said about he was making a portfolio of emotions, that's an interesting comment. But I think the script sort of kind of demanded that of him, because, like you say, he kept shifting emotions all the time.
Right.
He was, yeah.
And of course, we know younger adolescent children do have their mood swings, but it did seem pretty abrupt from scene to scene, definitely.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I don't have much more to say about plot. I was at least the last 10-15 minutes, I was waiting for some car chase or some shootings.
Well, they had one little getaway. Wasn't much of a getaway, but
that was
the one car scene was basically him just going off on a side road and then stopping and giving.
That was amateur hour. I mean, any other gangster would figure out right away like what's going on. I mean, there's supposed to be lots of dust, and
I was gonna say. It seemed like the dust settled really quickly, and when the Mexican police car came along, it seemed like the dust had settled very, very quickly.
Extremely quickly. It was
like within 15 seconds. I mean, yeah.
It seems like Federales like some sort of idiots, like. That was really.
Well, they did take the bribe in the end, so.
It all worked out in the end, I guess.
But I found the one part funny in the film as well was that the rooster or Macho kept attacking the hired girl, and Clint Eastwood just standing there watching this rooster peck at him and attack him, and he just waits for the right time and just gives him a punch in the face.
An opening, yeah.
It's
Yeah.
kind of
You
funny,
know what?
but not
That was
very
kind of
believable.
yeah. You know
Yeah,
what?
it just very
That was
convenient.
ridiculous. That was
Yeah.
ridiculous. That's why I thought it's like a Disney movie, like like Skippy, Australian Kangaroo, or Kangaroo,
Yeah.
or Lassie. Like those
Less.
animal stories, right?
Yeah.
That was a little bit too much. Come on, man. I mean, suddenly the
The
rooster
rooster
steps in and
defends his
steps in,
honor.
and
Yeah.
that was really good. That was really like Skippy style. I'm serious.
Skippy style. I like that.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I
Yeah.
think we've torn down the plot enough for one day, but yeah, basically we have a kid that's in Mexico. His mom's a drunk, gets hired by ranch hand to go retrieve him for his father. Father's a dickhead. They make their way back to the States. They get sidetracked by a nice looking woman and her
Oh,
restaurant and kids, and starts
Yeah.
to have a little romantic relationship. Kid changes his mind a few times, and he ends back up in the States. Does that pretty much sum it up?
pretty much. It
Yeah.
was
Romantic drama. Yeah.
yeah,
Although
romance.
I did like,
Basically.
yeah, I would have liked to seen more time given to the Marta character who was played by Natalia Travin, I believe was her name. I mean, she was nice.
Yeah.
She has a nice presence. I thought it's just, but all she really got to do was sort of moon over Clint's character,
Right.
and but I mean, she was obviously supposed to be like the sympathetic counterpoint to the Lita character. I would like to seen her developed a bit more. Which is too bad, but
Yeah,
yeah,
we are back to the same point. It was half baked, basically.
yeah, definitely.
Okay. Well, let's move on to the cast. I can go first this time. I don't have a lot to say. So
Sure.
I had a little bit of
Okay.
an issue with Eduardo Minet's delivery in the
Mhm.
first maybe 3 scenes or so. It didn't seem very genuine to me. But it did pick up a little bit more towards the middle and the end of the film, was a little more believable. And then
Yeah,
obviously Clint Eastwood was struggling a lot in this role to just to be able to do basic things. You could see he was walking around slowly and kind of like
yeah. Very
half,
stoop shouldered.
half
It seemed
there,
like.
and I mean, he was doing double duty. He was doing directorial role and acting role. So I mean, he's
Mhm.
probably trying to tell the other staff to what they're supposed to be doing, while at the same time trying to get his script down, right? So not easy, not definitely not a suitable choice. And then I also had a little bit of an issue with Dwight Yoakam's performance, but again, Ken was kind of explaining earlier that it might have been due to the script. So
Yeah.
that's all I really
Like
had to
Dwight
say.
Yoakam's done some screen work before that. I thought he was decent in. I remember him being in the Crank films alongside Jason Statham. I thought he was pretty funny in those films.
Right. So it's probably most likely a script issue then. Either that, he was just struggling with the whole pandemic thing, and it was just weighing heavy on him. But I mean, probably weighing on all the characters,
Who knows?
all the
Yeah.
actors, I should say. But how about you, Rosto? What's your thoughts on the cast?
Yeah, Clint Eastwood was definitely miscast because I mean 90 is 90. I mean my father is 86, right? And I see that
Yeah. Yeah.
it's simply different. It's simply ridiculous to show rodeo, how you call it, rodeo player or rodeo rider that he's like 90 years old, and obviously they use a double, right? Because there was one scene he was in that Mexican village. I think he was taming one of the horses, but of course that wasn't him, right? I mean, they got a double, but I'm trying to be diplomatic here. I don't want to,
Yeah. You don't want to slag.
he's
You don't. Yeah, he's done so much. You don't want to tear him down too much.
yeah. I don't want to tear him down, but
Yeah.
yeah, he should simply hire someone else for this role.
Yeah.
Dwight Yoakam, I remember him from some movies. I cannot put my finger on it. I don't remember from which one. I guess he was okay, but then again, well, I think he plays always these negative characters in the movies. He's the typical guy or typical face that you can use for some sleazy, sneaky characters. So that was okay.
Hmm.
You know what? I was okay. Letta, I already said she was there, but she was playing this crazy character to pulling 90 years old guy in her bed. I mean, that was really strange.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
and I mean, first she says like, "Oh, you take him. I don't care about him," you know. And then suddenly, "Oh, he's my property, and you cannot
Right.
take him." You know, it's like kind of like
Right.
crazy
Right.
talk. But honestly, I don't know if you guys remember who I was enjoying the most was the Mexican border officer right at the beginning. You know, like he was
Oh,
you saw those
Girls,
girls, and
hey,
yeah.
hey,
yeah,
how's it going?
yay,
Yeah.
welcome to Mexico. So where are girls going? Playa, playa.
Yeah.
Oh, playa. We have lots of beautiful beaches. You know, welcome to Mexico. And then the guy came, you know, like Mike Milo, and
Yeah, Mike.
he was
Yeah.
all
All serious.
official,
All
like
Yeah.
business.
all
Yeah.
serious.
Yeah.
What's your purpose in, you know, pleasure? Okay, welcome to Mexico. You know, he was like. So I was really enjoying this guy. You know, he was there like 2 minutes, but that was my really
Yeah.
great
Yeah.
moment.
Yeah.
So
No, that was good for a laugh, definitely. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah. And as for Raffo character, I mean the actor, like I said, he was probably he stick to the script, but then again the script was probably not so good, so he was like changing the moods and everything. He was like a little bit
Right.
Well, yeah,
Right.
he isn't a younger actor, so he needs direction as well, right? And if it wasn't there,
yeah,
then
it was a little bit unreal, you know. So and all the other characters they have been and plus Martha. Ken, you're right, plus Martha, she was really enjoyable.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
I would like.
but
Yeah.
all
Yeah.
but all the other characters they have been just like basically almost like an extras, just being there.
Yeah.
So for the sake of the movie.
To
So
move the plot along. Yeah.
so first place goes to Mexican border officer. Welcome to Mexico, guys.
hey, gringo, you welcome to Mexico.
Yeah, exactly. So what's your
Yeah.
take,
Pretty
sir?
over the top, but very memorable. Oh, me? Well, I was just thinking about how Mike or Eastwood plays Mike here. I think just from his manner and how he sort of tries to guide Raffo, like they sort of have a little bit of friction early on, but as he's teaching Raffo more about horse riding, it
Hmm.
seemed like Eastwood was playing him in a manner that I'm sort of guessing is close to what Eastwood would be like in person. Like to say he's a bit more genial than some of the characters he's played, like Dirty Harry or Will Money in Unforgiven. But the thing
Right,
is, the Eastwood I'd hope to meet passing on the street sometime, and the Eastwood I'd like to see on screen, they're not necessarily the same. And
right, right,
there isn't he doesn't have a lot of. I think his age sort of worked against the screenplay because aside from the insults he sorts of directs at the Mexican police and some of the arguments he has with Raffo earlier on, he doesn't have a lot of the grit we're used to seeing from him. Instead, we get a, as you guys are saying, we get a he's Mike's sort of a worn out older man who sleeps a lot and occasionally outwits the bad guys.
You're right. It's
yeah.
sort of
You know what I mean?
has a grumpy old men vibe to it.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, yeah. Except not.
Well, this grumpy old man was very suitable for Gran Torino. Actually, you know that was
Right.
really great performance when he was playing this guy Kowalski, I think.
Yeah, Walt
So
Kowalski. Yeah, yeah.
yeah, but here in this movie, nah, not so much.
No, I was just gonna say. I think the more R-rated nature of the script in Gran Torino allowed him to be a bit more colorful, like be a bit more colorful, and it showed a bit more of how the Kowalski character was pretty racist at the beginning, but eventually evolved to be more accepting of other cultures, specifically the Hmong family he befriended in Gran Torino. Whereas here he's pretty mild in the beginning, and you don't really see the crustiness that was in the Walt Kowalski character. So it didn't really feel like there was much evolution in his character.
Right.
None at all,
in my opinion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was kind of flat. And he seemed to be like always confused, you know. I don't know if it's
Yeah.
like really 90 years. I mean, that's that's a lot, right? I mean, so he was he seemed to me kind of like he doesn't even know where he is, right? So that okay, I'm gonna stop here because I really appreciate this guy. Clint Eastwood is my hero, so stop. That's
Oh
good.
yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why I say it's a little bit disappointing that this is his final screen role for me, anyway. Because I mean, he has done so much work, so much great work in the past, in over his career. And apparently, the new film he directed, just I believe it was last year, Juror Number 2, with Nicholas Hoult starring. Apparently, that's a very good film. So I'm actually hoping to get a chance to check that out for our next Off the Record episode.
Oh, sweet.
Perfect.
Alrighty.
Great.
Yeah.
Alright, so we're moving on to the visual effects, which I suppose
or lack thereof.
Lack thereof, you're right. Props, and I suppose were mostly accurate to the period. And I mean, we had a bunch of old cars. I mean, probably not hard to find old cars in Mexico, I suppose, but
yeah.
This is Clint Eastwood movie, and he's a director and producer. Camera work and cinematography, and you know the lights and props. It was simply spotless. I mean, from the last damn detail, from the buttons on the his jacket up to you know I don't know what, you know. So there is nothing to say. They use some doubles here and there. Obviously, it wasn't Clint Eastwood on that horse, and that's pretty much
the finer details. Yeah. Yeah, the finer details, like you're saying. I think his films have always been good for that, like just the settings and all that. I agree with you there.
Yeah. I don't think there was any kind of CGI. Maybe they play with the colors a little bit, but that's about it.
Yeah, I'm not. I can't recall reading about any specific like CGI, unless maybe there was some CGI when Macho was flying out of Aurelio there and taking him to the ground. I don't know.
They use like 11 birds, so basically,
they
I
did.
believe that.
Oh, okay. Well, then maybe they had a stunt Macho.
Yeah. So maybe it's. I think it's a real, like a real rooster in all those scenes. I don't think it's.
Okay. Yeah.
Modified with any kind of digital or CGI or whatever.
Right.
Yeah. I wouldn't want. Yeah. I would think you're probably right. Yeah.
So all those practical effects like gunshots and stuff, you wouldn't have to worry about all that. So.
Well, the movie was done in New Mexico. I just recalled, you know, the New Mexico is all about cactus. So there was this scene where he pulled one leaf of or part of the cactus, and he got him to eat it. That was probably a prop, right? I don't think they
that probably was. Yeah.
I don't think they ate the real cactus.
Well, which parts do you think were in the States, and which parts do you think were in Mexico?
I think most of the parts have been shot in. Even considering the pandemic situation, I think most of the parts have been done in New Mexico. And,
like Albuquerque or areas like that? Yeah.
Albuquerque areas. And then I think the part Marta and her family, that was probably done in some village there. I don't know exactly.
I think Wiki had some sort of a mention on where it was, but I'd have to look it up to tell you the truth.
Okay.
Right.
I know for sure about New Mexico. So.
All right. So I suppose that'll wrap up that category in a rather quick manner. So who wants to go first with their overall opinion and final score? Ken, how about you?
Sure. Okay. For style, directing, theatrical, I gave it a 5 out of 10. The saving graces, as Rosto mentioned, were the cinematography and the set design and the finer details of costumes and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
For plot and story, I'm giving that 2 out of 10 because it's just too erratic. It's as Rosto said, half-baked. People's emotions shift from like one shift on a dime. Very inconsistent. The cast and acting, I'm going to give 6 out of 10 because I do believe I believe all the actors were trying with what they were given. So, and Clint was doing the best he could, and I believe Natalia Travin as Marta. And I think even over time, Eduardo Minette, if he's given something better to work with, I'm not sure if he's worked on before or since, but I think if he gets something better to work with, there's room for him to improve, to give something better performance, definitely. So I can't really fault the cast for what they had to work with. Special effects,
Right.
I guess 5 out of 10. Again, for the cinematography and the set design and the costumes, and I guess in place of the special effects, there weren't really that many. So cinematography, costume design, set design, those are all pretty good for how
Right.
limited it was. My overall rating is unfortunately going to be 4.5 out of 10, and I'm going to say it should be Unsung and kicked out of the choir.
Okay. or the corral, kicked out of the corral, you mean?
Yeah,
Okay.
I guess you could say that as well. Kicked out of the corral.
Okay.
Or kicked out of
Because
Mexico.
Kicked it out of Mexico. You're not
Sure,
suitable
yeah,
for
sure.
us.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Oh.
unfortunately. Yeah.
Yeah. That's okay.
Okay.
Don't cry, Ken.
Don't cry for the macho.
Yeah.
Yeah. Don't cry for Macho. Yeah. As they say in the song, it's never too late to find a new home.
Yeah, exactly.
I wonder if Macho ended up getting eaten at the end because Clint Eastwood
Oh
kept...
yeah, Clint's character joked about it, but no, I don't think so. I think Macho had to. Well, just
Yeah.
before they roll the end credits, you hear him crowing, so I think Macho made out okay.
All right.
Okay. All right. I'll be a little bit more generous. Style directing and score 6 out of 10. I give it 6 because I still think Clint Eastwood is a good director. He showed it before, and
Oh yeah, definitely.
I believe he was doing as much as he could, considering to his age, and also he was juggling with so many roles. Basically, he was director, he was main character, he was also producer. So just like a homage or homage to Plain I give it 6. Plot, I have some troubles with plot, so I cannot give it more than 5. Cast, I wanted to give it less, but Mexican border officer, welcome to Mexico. He kind of he kind of saved my day, saved. So I'm giving that 6 out of 10. And the special effects, well, I mean that's 5 out of 10. So my overall rating is 5.5.
5.5. Okay, that's
Yeah,
still somewhat respectable.
Okay.
Pretty close to IMDb.
I think it's Unsung in the shower.
Unsung in a shower.
Or, yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
You have no witty pun for us?
Oh, Unsung in Mexico.
Unsung in Mexico, singing with a guitar in hand.
Yeah, something like that.
Okay. All right, cool. All right, so for me, I didn't find the film so bad. I enjoyed it more as a drama than a Western. However, obviously, we did have a bunch of issues with it, with the delivery and the intended audience and plot and stuff. So for style and directing, I'm going to give it a 6.25 out of 10. And because of the energy, well, there were some issues, but I felt the energy level wasn't there either. For the plot, I'm going to give it a 5.5 for the reasons we already discussed. Discussed. No, I don't mean disgust, but disgusting, but discuss.
That we
and
pontificated on.
Yeah. And the cast, I'm going to give a 6.5 because for the most part, I think they were trying to do what they wanted, trying to make something better than what it was. And special effects, I don't know. I'm just going to give it a 7 because there's nothing really wrong with it, but there just wasn't a lot of it. So, and that'll give my final score of a 6.3 out of 10. And as I said, there's a certain crowd of people who will watch us and somewhat enjoy, and that's the kind of crowd who likes these slower type dramas, even if the plot isn't all there. It gives sort of an emotional, gives you an emotional response, a wholesome feeling, even if the plot has issues with it. So that's who I recommend this film for. For Western fans and everybody else, it's probably not on my recommended list, but I still gave it a 6.3. So my unsung rating is Early Morning Cockcrow. So it's so instead of singing, it's the cock crowing in the morning.
Cock crowing in the morning. Okay.
Yeah.
So it's good or bad or
it is what it is. So it might be good in the sense that you need to get up early in the morning to go to work. So it's good in that sense. But if you don't, then it's not good because you have an annoying rooster blaring at the top of its lungs. So
your metaphor is slightly mysterious, but that's fine. And,
like the film, right?
Like the film, yeah.
Okay.
But that's okay. I don't think I'm gonna watch it again. I will sure watch Gran Torino sometimes, but not this movie.
Right. Yes, yeah. Unfortunately, I can't really recommend it as a rewatch either.
Yeah, no, I probably won't. Considering this, I had watched it twice now. So the first time I enjoyed it more, but the second time, when I was going more through it to look at the movie from a critical sense, I enjoyed it less. So,
yeah.
Okay, well,
but onward to juror number 2.
Yeah. So thank you, Clint Eastwood, for your years of service to the film industry.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. Much great work there.
Okay.
Amen.
All right, so that wraps up the episode. I suppose we'll be meeting probably in about another month or 3 weeks for Off the Record, possibly, depending on how our schedules are. So thank you all to the listeners out there, and thanks you for enduring the Cry Macho. The Unsung Cinematics podcast is produced by Rastislav Miklos and Stewart Rathje. The statements in this podcast are the opinions of the hosts and not necessarily a true statement or literal fact. You can find us on Substack at unsungcinematics.substack.com or listen to us on your favorite podcasting app. Copyright 2025.